Now, GitHub has seen a lot of hype launches, but almost nothing moves like this. On the 13th of August, DeepSeek published an open-source agent framework called DH, short for DeepSeek Harness, and within roughly 2 days it had passed 95,000 stars and nearly 9,000 forks. That is one of the fastest adoption curves the platform has recorded for a developer tool. So the interesting question is not how many stars it got. It is what design idea made that many engineers clone it overnight. Let's take it apart. The whole framework follows one radical commitment, and you can watch it play out across 4 layers that every other agent framework treats as fixed. Start with the model. In most frameworks, the provider integration is baked into the core, so swapping it means patching the framework. Here, adapters simply register themselves on a context object called CTX LLM. The harness never knows which model it is talking to, which is why a community adapter is a plugin rather than a pull request. Then the tools. Capabilities register onto CTX.tools the same way. So the set of things an agent can do is assembled at runtime from whatever bundles you loaded. That matters because tool surface is the main thing teams customize, and in most frameworks, it is the thing that fights the abstraction hardest. Next comes execution. Where the agent's code actually runs is a configurable backend on CTX.sandbox. Running locally, in a container, or on a remote machine becomes a configuration choice rather than a fork. For anyone worried about letting a model execute code, being able to swap the isolation boundary without touching the agent is a genuine safety lever. And here's the one that surprised people. Even the agent loop, the read, think, act cycle that basically defines what an agent framework is, can be replaced through plugin registration. Almost every competitor treats that loop as the product. DeepSeek treats it as another swappable part. Underneath that, 3 design decisions make the plugin story hold together instead of collapsing into chaos. The session event log is the single source of truth. It is an append-only stream, and the rule the project states is strict. Anything that reaches a model request must be reconstructible from the log. That turns debugging an agent from guesswork into replay, which is exactly the pain point most teams hit in production. Then there is composition. Instances are assembled from ordered layers. Profiles like web or headless stack bundles such as DH base, and those bundles contribute the model adapters, persistence, sandbox, and approval policy. So a deployment is a recipe of layers rather than a bespoke application you maintain forever. And crucially, approval policy arrives as part of a bundle too. Governance stops being custom glue written around the agent and becomes something you compose in. Whether that is enough control for a regulated environment is a fair open question, but architecturally it is in the right place. So what is the actual trade here? Set the usual framework bargain against this one. Most agent frameworks offer one bargain. The core owns the loop and the integrations, which gets you moving quickly on day 1. The cost shows up in month 3 when your requirement does not match the abstraction and your options narrow to forking the project, patching at runtime, or waiting on a maintainer. Now consider the opposite bet. Keep the core nearly empty and let plugins supply the model, the tools, the sandbox, and the loop, held together by that strict append-only log. You trade some out-of-the-box opinion for the ability to change any layer later. Whether that flexibility survives contact with large teams is the thing to watch. All right, let's pin down what DeepSeek Harness actually is. Harness, known as DH, is an open-source agent framework DeepSeek published on the 13th of August, and it reached roughly 95,000 stars and nearly 9,000 forks within about 2 days of going live. The organizing idea is that every part of the product is a plugin. Model adapters, the tool registry, the sandbox, the session log, and even the agent loop that most frameworks consider their core are all replaceable through registration. Coherence comes from the event log. It is append only and authoritative, and the stated rule is that anything reaching a model request must be reconstructible from it, which makes agent runs replayable instead of mysterious. Deployments compose from ordered layers, where profiles such as web or headless stack bundles that contribute persistence, sandboxing, and approval policy. Want more of the agent stack unpacked like this? Come join us over at standarity.com.